Main Street Journal News, the McMinnville Fire Department welcomed its newest piece of life-saving equipment Thursday with a traditional push-in ceremony at Station 1 on East Main Street. Engine 1, a modern rescue engine approved in 2023, was officially put into service as firefighters, city officials, and community members joined together to push the rig into its bay. The tradition dates back to the 1800s when hand-drawn and horse-drawn apparatus had to be physically rolled into stations, a chore that grew into a symbol of pride and teamwork. Engine 1 was built to specifications from a local committee, with its cab manufactured in Murfreesboro and the rear chassis and body constructed in Florida. The new engine features updated safety restraints, a powerful water cannon capable of 1,500 gallons per minute, and compartments for both firefighting and rescue equipment. After the ceremony on Thursday, Chief Marty White gave officials a ride before Engine 1 began its first calls. More local news is just a click away at mainstreetjournal.llc. Until next time, I'm Rob Nunley.
I'm Tim Hitchcock, inviting you to join me every Tuesday at 5 for Hey Hey Hitchcock, proudly presented by Farm Credit Mid-America. We're talking everything green, from backyard gardening tips to big ag insights. Plus, special guests from right here in the nursery capital of the world. Tune in on 97.7 WBMC every Tuesday at 5 or catch us streaming live on Facebook. Also available on YouTube.
I'm Jamie Summers with your Main Street weather forecast. Happy Monday to you. Can you believe that we are halfway through September? I mean, before you know it, we're going to sneeze and Christmas will be here. Crazy. In the meantime, we got some beautiful temperatures. 85 today is the high, and tonight a low of 58. Clear skies. There's going to be some clouds tomorrow, but we still got a high of 84 with a low of 61.
As a parent, you know you can't prevent every accident. Add a mouthguard to your child's sports or recreational equipment list to help prevent the impact of a painful and costly facial injury. If your child does sustain a facial injury, seek an evaluation from an oral and maxillofacial surgeon. OMSs are experts in handling injuries to the face, mouth, and jaws. Learn more at myoms.org.
Thank you for that song, Connor. Welcome to Behind the Mic with Chad Graves. I am here with a very special guest, Mr. Scott Rubley. Welcome, Scott.
Thank you for having me.
So Scott is the chairman of the Budget and Finance Committee, as well as many other jobs on the county commission, but also an entrepreneur, owns a nursery, a businessman, and I also know that you were on Tim Hitchcock's show, and you guys talked about sheep
Farming just a little bit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So you're doing sheep farming.
Few cows, few sheep, few goats, mostly nursery. The nursery takes care of all those other hobbies. It finances those hobbies. Those are works in progress.
Right. But you've been in the nursery business for a long time.
My dad started in 1971, and that's the year I was born. So it's really all I've ever known.
Well, obviously you guys do pretty well in the nursery. Because you're still doing it, right?
Right.
But we really wanted to talk about your role as a chairman of the Budget and Finance Committee. Can you tell us about, the county commission in general? What is the county commission, and what is your role as the chairman of the Budget and Finance Committee?
Well, start with the county commission in general. I think there are some misconceptions about what we do and what we're capable of doing, but 99% of our responsibility is to make sure that the tax dollars from Warren County are spent properly and that we don't overtax the citizens, but that there's enough money there to make sure that the county government functions as it should, and all the utilities, or I won't say utilities, but all the departments such as sanitation and highway, the ambulance service, have proper funding to make sure that they take care of the citizenry.
All right, so that's what you do on the Budget and Finance Committee. How does something, I guess, come before your committee So does the committee make recommendation to the full board, or how does that?
We do. Anything that the Budget and Finance Committee covers, I think exclusively, has to go to the full commission for approval. We make recommendation. A lot of things that are departmental issues, such as building and grounds. Right now, they're working on some issues at the courthouse. Well, from that committee, if there's funding involved, then it will come to the Budget and Finance Committee for recommendation. So pretty much everything that's got a dollar attached to it comes through our committee first, and then it moves on to the full commission for approval. And the recommendation from the Budget and Finance Committee typically bears a lot of weight, but sometimes that when it gets to 24 people, there's a lot of discussion, and it doesn't go the way that we recommend, but that's the democratic process.
Right. And I think at the end of this this show here, we can talk about actually the full 24 county commission, because there's been discussion of at some point in time there was talk of going to 12 county commissioners, but as you and I discussed, puts a lot more work and a lot more burden on all of the commissioners, and it's a pretty tough job as it is.
It is. It can be a handful.
I'm sure it is. So who all do you have on your committee with you?
On the Budget and Finance Committee, we've got Tommy Savage, we've got Christy Ross, Carl Bolden, and Cole Taylor.
So, and you guys generally see eye to eye, or is there some disagreements at times?
Oh, sure, we disagree. And a good example of that, Tommy and I talk about that from time to time. We don't always vote alike, but usually when the meeting's over, we go have dinner together, or a lot of times we do. So I think everybody, and I told you this before the show, most everybody on the commission, their concern is what's best for Warren County. And if we disagree, but we're all working toward the same goal, you can't hold that against anybody. But the Budget and Finance Committee, I would say 95% of the time we're on the same page, because it just makes sense financially. And that's our biggest obligation is the money there? Is this going to work? And is this what's best for the people of Warren County? And are we spending their tax dollars wisely? And if it's yes, then it's typically a unanimous vote. But there's some things that we disagree on, especially budget time. When we're going over all the budgets, then there'll be some things that are called to question as far as raises or insurance plans. It's not, are we for it or against it, or is this a better policy, or is this enough money? We'll have those disagreements sometimes, but most of the time it's always cordial, and usually we agree, but there are some differences from time to time.
So how often do you meet with the county commission?
Most committees have a set monthly date of meeting, and since I've been the chairman, we have not done that, because so many times we'll have issues that are good for the agenda. Say we meet the first Monday night of the month. Okay, we have a meeting, and then before we have a regular meeting, there'll be a couple of more budget amendments or something that pop up. So we try to push it closer to the time that the docket is prepared. We try to get the docket out 10 days or so before the regular meeting. So we try to have it close to that, so that if anybody's got a budget problem that they're having a shortfall in a line item of some sort, they really need it done soon, then we don't have to have two meetings. So we're kind of flexible. And I've got a group text with all the commissioners, and I'm like, okay, guys, when can we meet? I'm looking at this date, and this time. What do you say? And we try to put all our heads together and meet and tackle it as soon as close to the regular meeting date as we can.
So have you had any hot button topics come up recently in this committee?
Budget and finance, no. Financial management, maybe a little. This lighting project, which was a financial management issue, that one has been a little lots of discussion, some misunderstanding, but I think we're working through it.
So financial management is a different committee other than budget.
Right.
Okay.
It is.
All right. So Connor's bringing the music in, so we're going to take our first break. But when we come back, I want to jump right into a topic that I don't know. It's kind of been on my mind. It's been on several other people's mind too. Is a football stadium at the new high school that is now 30 years old.
Right.
So all right. So when we come back, we're going to talk about a little bit about this and kind of get your thoughts on it and see where you think the public stands with this.
Okay.
All right. We'll be back after the break on Behind the Mic, and we're here with Scott Rubley.
'Cause I'm the tax man. Yeah, I'm the tax man.
Prater's Barbecue has been around for 29 years, smoking our award-winning barbecue, tender beef brisket, or mouth-watering baby back ribs. And don't forget our delicious side dishes. Myself, Gary, and all the Prater staff could not do this without our wonderful and loyal customers. Dine in or carry out, give us a call at 635-2259 to place your order.
Thank you, Warren County.
Call them today for your next catering event. Prater's Barbecue, Highway 55 in Morrison.
Come on in and see how good it feels.
You'll always be treated right when you arrive at Ed Rogers Chevrolet with the new Chevrolet Am vehicles, plus a great selection of quality used vehicles. At Ed Rogers Chevrolet, there's also an outstanding service department, proud to be family-owned for over 50 years.
So come on in and see how good it feels.
Get that great feeling of saving money today at Ed Rogers Chevrolet in Sparta and EdRogersChevy.net.
McMinnville, you're a part of me. McMinnville, McMinnville, Tennessee. There's nothing like you anywhere around. I'm proud to say you're my hometown.
This is Christy Partain with Graves Family Pharmacy, and we check all the boxes when it comes to family, community, and patient care. We have the best drive-thru in town where you will be greeted with a smile, and you can talk to us while being fully protected from the sun and the rain. Why go to a big box store when you can talk with local people that truly care about you and your family? Follow us on Facebook and feel free to ask questions. Come see us on Main Street at Graves Family Pharmacy, where you are much more than just a name and date of birth.
McMinnville, Tennessee.
At Pioneer Building Supply, we're your one-stop shop for lumber, tools, and building supplies. Whether you're tackling a major renovation or just need a few materials for a small project, we've got you covered. From framing to finishing touches, we have the products and expertise to help you get the job done right. Stop by and see us today at 231 Northgate Drive, Suite 250, McMinnville, or give us a call at 931-473-7777. Our friendly, knowledgeable team is always ready to help you with whatever you need for your next project. For 50 years, Pioneer Building Supply has been the trusted name in construction materials. We've built our reputation on quality, service, and the commitment to your success. Pioneer Building Supply, building your dreams since 1975.
Pioneer Building Supply.
Pioneer Building Supply, where good business make good friends.
Pioneer Building Supply.
Welcome back to Behind the Mic. We are sitting down with Scott Rubley, the chairman of the Budget and Finance Committee. But before we get into it, I wanted to tell you about David Stinson and his business there on Main Street beside the Park Theater. They have taken care of my family's jewelry needs for many, many years, and I'm sure you know David.
David and I covered a lot of miles on the Strip years ago at taking turns driving one vehicle or the other. We're good friends. David's a good guy.
He's a great guy.
And a grandpa.
I know, he did.
So am I. So
that is right. My wife told me, because I grew up with Olivia, at Bobby's, and so I was a little older than her, but
right.
I do remember them as whenever I was growing up there.
Right.
So congratulations,
Thank
Grandpa. Yeah, and congratulations to you, David Stinson, on you becoming a grandpa as well. But David has taken care of me for many, many years, and he is a great sponsor of the show, and I appreciate what he does for our community.
The whole family has done a lot for the community. I remember Moody and Judy when I was just a kid going in there, and they were just a staple of downtown, and David's carrying on the tradition.
That's right. And now Abram is as well. Mm-hmm. So I think, is this the fifth generation of jeweler in that family?
I think that's right.
Yeah. Well, all right. So before the break, we started having a little bit of a discussion on there has been talk in the community about a new football stadium, and I know that whenever they built the new high school that was 31 years ago, I graduated from the new high school. I didn't go to the old high school, which is now the middle school. They said that they were going to build some facilities over there for sports, and I know that they built a softball field, a baseball field. They built a soccer field. They built an indoor rec facility, which has been fantastic because they do wrestling in there and practice and everything else. But there was discussion, or they said that they were going to build a football stadium there at pretty soon after the building of the high school, which has obviously not happened. So, and that's just been a topic that keeps coming up around here anyway, and around in my circle that we talk to, and the people that I talk to are somewhat in favor of a football stadium. But I do understand that there are some people that are, saying, hey, we've got other things that we could spend our funds on.
And I think that's why we don't have a football stadium there now, because we've had so many projects at the grammar schools and Bobby Ray, the middle school, committed a lot of money to capital projects there, and it's just the money's never has seemed to be there when we need to pursue that. And Director Swallows and I have had this discussion multiple times, and we're friends. I like to think that we're good friends, and lots of folks on the county on the school board. But the question is, what does the taxpayer want? We try to look at it from the eyes of the taxpayer, because hey, we're the final stop before the money is executed in the school system or in the county government, and that's the big question. And the people that have approached me concerning it, which, like I say, you've got a vested interest in because you've got children there.
That's right.
And I understand that. But the majority of the taxpayers that have talked to us is like, why are you even thinking about a new stadium? And I'm not arguing for or against. I'm just saying that that's the general consensus is we don't need a new stadium. I've had other commissioners tell me that some of the coaches come in from other counties and they say, wow, we really love this retro atmosphere of Nunley Stadium. And I do understand that there's some things that need to be done there. But I couldn't say, if we said we're going to have a vote tonight with the county commission to appropriate $10 million to build a football stadium, I couldn't say where the vote would be right now, but I know that it would be really controversial. I know it's not going to be a unanimous decision, that's for sure.
Right, and that was one of the things that I wanted to kind of get the conversation started out there in the community, because, again, I know that there is a plan, or when I say a plan, maybe it's not a preliminary ideas and drawings sketched out. So I don't guess we could call it technically a plan just yet. But I know that there has been some thought into where a stadium would go and what it would look like, and then there's a discussion of a track and tennis courts and all things like that. So obviously there has been thoughts on this, and it's been talked about for years and years and years, and obviously it hasn't come to fruition just yet. But I wanted to kind of get some ideas and get people talking about it, because it does feel like it is somewhat divided, and it seems like there is an age gap. People that are about 10 years older than me that really went to the high school over there and played ball at Nunley Stadium are completely against, well, the ones that I've talked to are against building a new stadium, because,
that's home.
That's right. That's home. But me, I never went to high school there ever. So I never went to school there, period. It wasn't my middle school at all. So I have got zero, I guess, affiliation with that school and that stadium. So to me, it doesn't mean as much.
Right.
So I guess that's why, for me, I felt like it was more of it would be great to have our kids with a sense of pride of a new stadium, and like you said, having to bus students over to the Milner Rec Center if there is a situation, a safety concern over there. That's part of the That's the process right now, is busing them over to the Milner Center. We would not have to do that if we had a new stadium.
Right. Well, and I will say that the school board is working really hard. There have been some projects that have been sitting, waiting, ready, and needed to be done. The cafeteria at the high school is one thing that, and I don't know when the plans were drawn, why they were drawn in the nature that they were. Grant and I had this discussion a few weeks ago about how small the auditorium is, and we knew that the cafeteria was an issue. Most of the kids don't eat in the cafeteria, so they
can't right now, right?
Right, but they're working on it. So they are going to expand the cafeteria. That's probably job one. They're also doing some work at West Elementary, going to try to figure out how to fix some things over there, but they are taking the things in my eyes in the order in which they need to be addressed, and they have actually put about $10 million aside this year to begin on those projects. And I think traffic pattern over there, if anybody that drops kids off in the morning, they know traffic pattern's an issue. And Grant has told us, he said, look, if there's anybody out there that can tell us how to fix this, please send them over here, because we're willing to listen. Because at this point, I don't know, we've discussed widening lanes, and I say I'm maybe talking out of turn here, that's the school board, but they've talked about expanding more lanes, making it one way or something, and basically could load more vehicles on campus at a time. But when they pour out on the street out there, I think we're going to have the same problem. They've talked about buying some more property, maybe having another exit on Vervilla Road, but right now I don't think that's realistic. I don't think that the property is available. But they are, I think, maybe the track and maybe the courts on the infield of the track is something that's probably coming up real soon. I don't think that the football stadium is something that they're seeing in the next 1, 2, 3 years, but they are keeping it on the agenda, and I think that it will be addressed when they feel like that's the next need. But like I say, the people in the community that I've talked to have said, and that we just don't feel like that's a good place to spend our money.
So one of the discussion points that I've heard is the wheel tax. I keep hearing about the wheel tax and where that revenue is going, and this is my understanding, and I don't know all the ins and outs, but that money is now going into a general debt service fund.
Actually, it is committed to a project, and once that project pays, I think 2028 is when the wheel tax will expire. A lot of people, and that's one thing that I hear as a county commissioner all the time. Everybody said when the high school was paid for, the wheel tax would go away, and we still got a wheel tax, and we'll always have a wheel tax. Well, what people fail to remember or don't realize or didn't vote is that it was on the ballot several years back as a referendum, and it was voted on by the general public, and it was approved to continue for particular projects. When those projects pay off, the wheel tax expires, and we're going to have to address that probably before next year's election, because it would expire between now and the next election if we don't address it prior. Right now, I talked to Justin this morning. When I came on the commission, the wheel tax was generating approximately $1 million. Right now, we're at about 1.2, and this is just my opinion. It is a fair tax than property tax. I know some people will argue that property tax is fair in the long run. People that don't own property, they rent, they lease houses or apartments, and they're in essence paying that tax. But and to me, some people say, oh, the nursery people are on the county commission because they want to keep their property taxes low. Listen, I couldn't even count the vehicles that we've got in our business, and we pay wheel tax on every single one of them if something doesn't slip our mind, and they have to remind us, and then we pay the penalty. But we pay property tax and we pay wheel tax, but I still feel like, and I think most of the people on the commission do, that it is a fair tax, and that $1.2 million would be a huge hit on the county if it were not available for the school system to continue their capital projects. So
I I agree with you. I feel like the wheel tax is a fair tax as well. So I don't obviously know the ins and outs of all the budget, but I've been told that the high school's paid for, and the renovations at Irving College and
Bobby Ray and the construction of the Wellness Center, those three paid off this last fiscal year. So we're clear on those.
So do we currently have a project right now that the wheel tax is going towards?
We've got, and I would be telling you wrong if I told you, but I think we've got Centertown, we've got East Side, and we've got the middle school project that was just finished. So those, I think our debt pays out if we don't incur any more debt. I think it's about 2038. We've got some long-term notes. One of those was the ESG project that did the lighting and the electrical upgrades at the school system, and we've probably got some money available now that we could dedicate to some of those debts. The problem is that most of those notes, we do a lot of things through Cumberland Securities in Knoxville, Tennessee, and most of those notes, we could pay them off today, but we're still going to pay the interest, and we're still going to pay all the costs that if the note matures, So there's really nothing to gain. Our money, I don't know, taxpayers know it, but the money that we've got sitting there available is actually invested. The trustee invests that money, and a lot of the debts that we've got, the interest rate is basically a wash. We're drawing as much as we're paying. So, but we're in a good place as far as debt goes. We're as low as I can remember. We're somewhere, I think Justin and I were running numbers last week. Justin was running the numbers and I was listening, but we're somewhere under $26 million right now, and that's a really good place considering where we've been in the past few years. And we've got a lot of the campuses, most of the campuses are in good shape right now. So
yeah, that's great news to hear, and I have seen these projects unfold at these different county schools, and it's been great. So here comes Connor with the gambler here. So
all got to be money related. He's doing a good job.
I know he always does. All right. So when we come back, I wanted to talk about. There's been discussion with County Executive Bell about an Ag Expo Center. So I wanted to kind of get your thoughts on an Ag Expo Center and where you see Warren County in the next 10 to 15 to 30 years.
Okay.
All right, so we'll be back and talking with Scott Rubley on Behind the Mic.
And he drank down my last swallow. Then he bummed a cigarette and asked me for a light. And the night got deathly quiet.
Talk Radio WBMC News is next.
Looking for a loan? At Coffee Bank & Trust, we make it happen. From business goals to personal dreams, we specialize in finding a way to get you approved fast. Better listening, better solutions, better banking. Because at Coffee Bank & Trust, we're committed to serving you better. Come home to Coffee Bank & Trust, a division of Coffee County Bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS number 646005. Coffee Bank & Trust. Believe in better.
In the Main Street Journal News, the McMinnville Fire Department welcomed its newest piece of life-saving equipment Thursday with a traditional push-in ceremony at Station 1 on East Main Street. Engine 1, a modern rescue engine approved in 2023, was officially put into service as firefighters, city officials, and community members joined together to push the rig into its bay. The tradition dates back to the 1800s when hand-drawn and horse-drawn apparatus had to be physically rolled into stations, a chore that grew into a symbol of pride and teamwork. Engine 1 was built to specifications from a local committee, with its cab manufactured in Murfreesboro and the rear chassis and body constructed in Florida. The new engine features updated safety restraints, a powerful water cannon capable of 1,500 gallons per minute, and compartments for both firefighting and rescue equipment. After the ceremony on Thursday, Chief Marty White gave officials a ride before Engine 1 began its first calls. More local news is just a click away at mainstreetjournal.llc. Until next time, I'm Rob Nunley.
Ascension St. Thomas River Park is here to listen to you because caring for you is our #1 priority. Ascension Care Teams start by understanding you, your health, and your life to deliver care that's right for you. Now offering cardiac CT angiography services, a non-invasive cardiac exam that looks at the blood vessels that supply blood to the heart and can detect if plaque has narrowed the coronary arteries. The compassionate, personalized care you've come to expect is right here in McMinnville. We're more than just a hospital, ER, and a clinic. We want to give you hope, health, and strength.
I'm Jamie Summers with your Main Street weather forecast. Clear skies tonight with a low of 58 degrees. Tomorrow night is going to warm up a little bit. We're going to see a low of 61 under cloudy skies. Tomorrow's high is going to be 84. All through the week, it looks like we're going to have mid to upper 80s and lows in the lower 60s, but beautiful, clear skies ahead.
It's a big job just getting by. Welcome back to Behind the Mic. We are talking with the Budget and Finance Chair, Scott Rubley, the Budget and Finance Chair for the Warren County Commission. I need to specify that.
Correct.
So Scott, before this, we were talking about who controls the money, sort of controls the vision of where the future of Warren County, and you quickly said, hey, we don't control the money. We have discussions about where it goes, because obviously there's a lot more that goes into it than you can't write a check for the county, right?
Right. And we talked about this before the show. There are 24 of us, and every 4 years we're up for re-election. And if the taxpayer's not happy, there's got to be somebody willing to take our place. But if the taxpayer's not happy, they vote somebody else in. So in essence, they're in control, but not at such frequency as the commissioners are.
So are you willing to announce right here that you're going to be rerunning next year for your seat?
As far as I know, I am. If nothing changes, I will run again.
Excellent. Well, you heard it here first. That
Terry jokingly said today, he said, "You're going to announce you're running for county executive tonight, aren't you?" I said, "Will you support me?" He said, which Terry and I are good friends, and we joke all the time, but he knows I have no intention of announcing running for county executive.
Well, I like Terry. My kids play softball out at Midway and see them all out there, so that's it's a good environment out there in Midway.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so before the break, we kind of talked about there have been discussion about an Ag Expo Center, and I have had discussions with Terry Bell about the Expo Center, and he's kind of told me what his vision is out there. So I wanted to just kind of get your thoughts on that. It's like where would this Ag Expo Center be, and what would it bring to Warren County?
Mm-hmm. Well, as I was telling you some months back, Terry and I think Gary Prater and John Turner and Eric Walker, Wendy Sneed, several of us met with Janice Bowling in Nashville, and we went and met with the governor to discuss this and the possibility that there would be some grant funding available. And it seemed well received. However, we've not really received a response. And this is an election year. Governor Lee's finished, and I think I just politically I don't see that money being available. Senator Bowling said that there was some money available for tourism, and we tried to figure out a way maybe we could link the project to tourism and maybe get some grant funding available. And I'm in the nursery business. Ag Expo Center would probably benefit me as much as it would anybody in Warren County, but right now it's not looking like that there's a lot of money available. Executive Bell mentioned the fact of maybe doing some work in one of the areas at the mall and developing that into an expo center so that we wouldn't have an additional piece of property to have to tend to. We've already got that piece of property and not having another one to have to maintain, because at the end of the day, if the state of Tennessee said, hey, here's $10 million building an Ag Expo Center, okay, who's going to take care of it? Well, I think we know the answer. Warren County's going to take care of it. And will it generate enough revenue to be profitable or even revenue neutral? You know, that's a
tough conversation. It really is. So if the state of Tennessee came back and said, we're going to give you $10 million, is that a matching? Would Warren County have to match that $10 million? Or
the discussion has not been had. I think when we first approached the governor, it was, okay, what do you got? And I think his response was, well, what do you have? And that we never got that far in the discussion to say that there would be some matching funds available. So until we get further in the conversation, I don't think that that's been addressed or will be until we see some interest from the state. So I don't know where we are on it, but I know that we need to build something that we're capable of maintaining. I know any facility, there's a big amount of utilities and labor involved no matter what, and future maintenance. So that all has to be taken into consideration. I think it is sad that this is the nursery capital of the world and we don't have an expo center. You know, you go to Lebanon, they've got a great facility down there at the fairgrounds, and the fact that we don't have one has always been kind of confusing. But when you start looking at the dollars and cents, it makes you a little apprehensive because you don't want to put the county in a bind, you know. And we've looked at surrounding counties, and one of the surrounding counties has had an expo center, and it has been.
And they're trying to get rid of it right now.
Yes. So that's something that needs. And I know we don't have the hotels to provide housing for larger events right now, and the argument is, okay, if we build it, then they will come. So which needs to be the first? Do the facilities and the accommodations need to come first, or does the Ag Expo Center need to come first? Because it doesn't matter if we've got a expo center that'll hold 5,000 people if we can only house 50 people at night. And the hotel's a great thing. I know I've got customers that come in from all over the country from time to time, not a huge amount, but from time to time. And what I hear, I had some people here from Florida a while back, and they said we couldn't get a room in McMinnville, so we rented a little Airbnb, and it was quaint, but good enough. So the hotel's working. I think we just need 10 more stories. You know,
right? So you're still hearing that we still don't have enough, I guess, occupancy
right.
to have any type of event here.
Yeah, well, and we've talked with IDB, and they have said, and Wendy has said that history shows that once these things show up, then the hotels will start coming. But that's a huge gamble for us to say, okay, let's do it, and then everything's going to be fine. Could be a huge sum of money if we're not going to get the events here.
So during the break, you and I talked about the future of Warren County, and it seems like if we are in the expo center business
Mm-hmm.
of having expos here, that's somewhat related to tourism.
Mm-hmm.
Is that your understanding as well?
Well, we talked with Senator Bowling, and she had said that there are tourism dollars available. So we tried to kind of marry the two projects together, but it's a huge challenge to make that work. So tourism in Warren County is great. We jokingly say on the commission, and we're not mad that anybody comes, but they come, they spend their money, and they go home. And that's the best visitor you can have,
right.
You know. But I don't know how many more tourism dollars are available or how many more people we're going to get to come into town. I feel like myself that we've kind of reached a plateau as far as tourism goes. It's good, it's great, but I just don't know how we can enhance that or increase it.
So I think people are coming into Warren County as tourists to see the cave,
Mm-hmm.
to kayak on the waterways, and I agree, there's only so many people that that we can accommodate there.
Right.
So are there other areas that we're missing out on?
Well, you know, we've got so many good things surrounding, but we're kind of limited with as far as the tourism boards, which we've, the county we've kind of gone out on our own, and we're in the process of creating a county tourism board, but to promote Fall Creek Falls, which is in another county. Rock Island, we've got some of Rock Island is in Warren County, but there's a lot of things that draw people to Warren County because we've got restaurants and we've got hotels. Stone Door, for instance, Savage Gulf State Park, all those parks up there. Lots of people like to go frequent those parks, but there's really nowhere for them to stay up there. So we do get some of that overflow, but I don't know how we could go any further. I think Fall Creek Falls gets lots and lots and lots of traffic, and we get some residual income from people passing through, but lots of people come from lots of directions to see that park. So we don't get it all, but it's good that we get some.
So, but like you said, they're maybe staying in Warren County, but going to other counties to actually spend their time. They're only staying in Warren County because there's nowhere to stay there. Is that and again, we only have a couple of hotels here.
Yeah.
So not enough occupancy to really make a move the needle in that direction.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, so we're going to take another break, but when we come back, I just wanted to kind of get your thoughts on the broader vision for Warren County. Where are we going to be in 15 years?
Mm-hmm.
All right, when we come back, we're going to talk again with Scott Rubley on Behind the Mic.
Less than the best is a felony. Love it or leave it. You better gain weight. You better hit bullseye. The kid don't play. If there was a problem, yo, I'll solve it. Check out the hook while my DJ revolves it.
It's time for some more great weekly specials from our friends at Warehouse Discount Groceries. Now listen to these. Bone-in center pork chops, a family pack, just $2.49 a pound. 24-pack Sundrop or Dr. Pepper or 7-Up and RC Cola, just $8.88. Bluebell half-gallon ice cream, just $5.99. And JJ's assorted fried pies, just 89 cents each. Don't forget to check out their full-service deli, Warehouse Discount Groceries, 835 Smithville Highway on the Strip.
Douglas and Lanier, that's where I choose to be. Douglas and Lanier, that's the agency for me.
For rock-solid insurance coverage or sound financial planning for my family's future, Douglas and Lanier is where I choose to call home.
Call Douglas and Lanier, your local Erie agents, at 811 Faulkner Springs Road, McMinnville, at 931-474-0044.
Where can you go to spend some quality up-close and personal time alone with none other than 3 Star Cinema? Head over to the most affordable and convenient place in town featuring the latest releases fresh on the silver screen. 3 Star Cinema.
Now showing Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Freak Your Friday, rated PG. Bad Guys 2, rated PG. Caught Stealing, rated R. Fantastic Four First Steps, rated PG-13. Weapons, rated R.
Sparta Street, McMinnville. 3 Star Cinema, where the stars come out at night.
3 Star Cinema will be closed September 8th through 15th and will reopen on Tuesday, September 16th.
Make the places you care about more comfortable and energy efficient with TVA Energy Right. It all starts at EnergyRight.com, where you can find everything you need to lower your energy usage for your home or your business. Contact Caney Fork Electric Energy Advisors Dale or Chris at 931-473-3116 or go to EnergyRight.com to start living and working more energy efficiently. Caney Fork Electric along with EnergyRight.com for all your energy needs. Brought to you by Caney Fork Electric Cooperative and TVA.
In football, the more points you have, the better chance you have of winning the game. When it comes to your internet, it's the same concept. The more upload and download speed you have, the better chance your home or business has of winning the game of life. That's why Ben Lomond Connect has an unheard of, industry-leading synchronous gig broadband price of $57.95 for both homes and businesses, plus 2 gig and 8 gig available in most areas. Call your local BLC office or go to benlomonconnect.com and go big with Tennessee Gig today. Some exclusions may apply.
WBMC McMinnville, 960 AM and 97.7 FM. WBMC.
With the changing of the seasons, Middle Tennessee is a beautiful place to be. Now is the perfect time to purchase or remodel your home or to buy that boat, camper, or land you've been looking at. This is Matt Ritchie, loan officer at Security Federal, and I'm here to help make these dreams a reality. So whether you're ready to make a big purchase, invest for retirement, or just establish your credit, come see us at Security Federal. We are the local bank with smiling faces, always happy to help you. See why we are known as the friendliest bank in town. Security Federal, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Welcome back to Behind the Mic. Scott, I'm glad that you're here. We've been talking all kinds of things. We're talking new football stadium, Ag Expo Center, the county commission. Now, I wanted to kind of get your thoughts on Warren County, the future of Warren County. What are we going to be doing in 30 years? Are we still going to be the nursery capital of the world? Is that going to be what we're doing? Or are we going to have the tourism capital of Tennessee? What is it?
Well, I hope that we're still as invested in agriculture as we are right now. I think that's the driving force of the economy here in Warren County. I'm seeing some of the other counties do some things that make you question the motives. And I'm not throwing stones by any means, but I know, and I'm sure you've heard the news, there are some zoning issues coming up in Coffee County that they're considering it, or have passed some regulations that you have to have a 5-acre parcel of ground to build a house on now, and the offset is pretty dramatic too. So we do a lot of housing developments as far as providing landscape material in the Spring Hill and the Franklin area, Murfreesboro, Nashville, and I go down there and I see the houses just almost touching. This is ridiculous. But in retrospect, the commission has had some discussion on this. At least we're not eliminating 5 acres of property at a time. Mm-hmm. And do we like to see these housing developments? Not really. These tight, packed, and cramped housing developments, but it is saving property. And most people who build a house on 5 acres, they're not in the farming business, or they would have had more than 5 acres, but that 5 acres turns into a liability or a hobby farm, mm-hmm. which doesn't generate much revenue. But I know the growth keeps spreading. We saw it, years ago. We would have had no idea that Murfreesboro has exploded like it has, and now it's moved to Woodbury and Beech Grove. And Nashville has moved south of Franklin to, Triune is – you used to drive through the little crossroads of Triune, and now it's exploding. So you can't stop the growth. You want to regulate it. You want to see growth, and you want to see increase in revenues, but you also want to maintain your identity. And I'm pretty happy to live in a small town, and you can't stop progress. I know, but we want to try to regulate that. But I do hope that we can maintain some of our farming practices, or the majority of what we're doing now, because it's going to be, and we talked about this before the show, I think if things keep progressing as they are in our life, and maybe not in our lifetimes, but our children's lifetimes, we're going to see food issues in the United States because the farmland is being eliminated at an astronomical pace.
Right. So that was one of the things that I was thinking about too, is, these nurseries such as yours, mm-hmm. right? You've got kids, and in 30 years, hopefully you're still here and working and kicking. But if you're not, that would get divided amongst the owners and mm-hmm. their kids, and then their kids' kids. So, and do those kids want to continue to be in the farming business? Mm-hmm. And hopefully the answer is yes, but a lot of times that answer is no.
Right.
And those farms get sold
and developed, and you can't blame the farmers, especially retired farmers. We've talked about this. Farmers retire. Their land is almost like part of the family. They farmed it all their lives, and maybe their fathers and their grandfather has. They don't want to sell the property, but they get stuck in a corner once they retire. The only option is to lease the property. They've got 2 options: lease the property to people willing to row crop farm, or sell the property. And right now, when people come in and they're offered, used to, you'd say, there's no way we could pay $2,500 an acre for a piece of property. And now $10,000 is a bargain in some places in the county.
Right.
So, Yeah, and I don't hold any grudges to farmers who say, hey, we've had it, we're selling out, and they sell their property for enough money to live comfortably the rest of their days. So, it's a situation, but like I say, I don't blame them, but I'm hoping. I've seen this in the nursery business all my life. And when I went to school, I told my counselors, I'm going to be in the nursery business. I'm not going to college. I have no intent. I'm going to go back home and work. Maybe a big mistake, but that's what I'm going to do. And I saw most of the successful and prosperous nursery owners tell their children, you don't want to do this. Go away, get an education, find something else to do. This is too hard. You don't want to do this. But now it seems like things are coming full circle, and most of these kids who have chased the bright lights of the big city are saying, hey, it sure was a simpler life back home, and they're trickling back in. And it's not a bad thing to go to college and get an education and do something that you dearly want to do, but so many kids go to get an education to fall back on. Mm-hmm. And seldom does that happen that they fall back on. So, but I think now lots of the younger people are seeing that, hey, it's hard work, but it's rewarding work, and it's a simpler life than the rat race of corporate America. And I think it's changing. I think that's and I think that will help us in the future to hold on to a little bit of this farmland. My son was here and there trying to decide what he wanted to do, and now he's back at the nursery, and I'm so glad he's there. I couldn't do without him. Mm-hmm. But I think he's dug in and in it for the long haul.
Well, you talked about going to the big city and the bright lights. I did that. Mm-hmm. I lived in Atlanta for 13 years, and
bless your heart.
It was good. It was good. I did well down there. Right. I started a business down there, but it wasn't home. It never felt like home. And I lived in one of those houses where I could, touch the neighbors on both sides. And it was a neighborhood that had 400 houses in it, and it was good, but it wasn't home. So we moved back to Warren County because that's where we wanted to be. And we built the house in the middle of a big open hayfield. Right.
I tell people jokingly that when I got married, I moved off. When the leaves are off, I can see my old home place. I moved about 600 yards is what I did. And I've been there and love Irving College and plan on making my stand there. That's the place that I love. It's home. And like you say, been a lot of places around this country, and there's some beautiful places in this country, but I've never been anywhere that I had want to live rather than Warren County. It's just a good place to live.
So one topic that I wanted to briefly touch on was the size of the county commission. Mm-hmm. Is right now there are 24 county commissioners, and there was discussion about changing that to 12 at one point in time.
That discussion has been going on since I got on the county commission, and I think every commissioner, if they're honest, would tell you that I really didn't know what I was getting myself into when I got on the county commission. And I can think of one right now who said I had no idea how many issues and how much that we have to address. But when I got on the commission, I had a fellow commissioner ask me, he said, would you be okay with reducing the number of commissioners to 12? And I was still wet behind the ears, you might say. I was like, yeah, sure, I think that's I
makes sense.
Don't see a problem. Smaller government. That's what we are supposed to stand for. So, yeah, I'm good. Well, year and a half in, I went back to that commissioner and I said, listen, I'm going to have to backpedal just a little bit because we've got a lot of responsibility. And I will say this, I'm going into my 12th year, but 11 years ago, we didn't have near the responsibility on the Warren County Commission that we've got now. I get really frustrated at the grant funding that's available. I'm glad that it's available, but it feels like we tax and then we take it and run it through the state or run it through Washington and send back pennies, and congratulations, you're getting some grant funding. But if we could just keep that money here, it would change things. But because of that, we've got constant the school system as well as the county, we've got constant grant opportunities, and those are things that we have to process and work through. We're working through an opioid abatement settlement right now. There are several suits, class action suits around the county. And for 12 commissioners to do what 24 commissioners are doing right now. The committees, we're involved in the airport now. We're involved in the IDB slightly, but they're pretty much an independent association. But Ag Extension, and we've got Highway Department, we've got Health and Welfare, we've got the Sheriff's Department, which our committee is County Corrections, Budget and Finance, Financial Management, Legislative. I mean, I could just keep naming committees. But if we cut the county commission now to 12 members, we would be so overloaded, or whoever.
So you're doubling your responsibility.
We would, and I actually, coincidentally, Terry and I had that discussion this morning, Executive Bell, that about the only way that you could make that work is to synchronize some of the committees to give them dual responsibility. Say Budget and Finance and Health and Welfare are the same members and they meet at one time. But the responsibility that we've got and try to process all that information and do it correctly, I think would be a challenge. I really feel like that we're in a good place right now with the 24. And I always said 24 heads are better than one. So,
well, Connor's telling me it's about time to get this thing wrapped up, and I know you have a county commission meeting tonight.
Yep.
So hopefully you guys make some big decisions that obviously will benefit our county, and I appreciate your role on the county commission.
Well, I appreciate you having me.
And I know that you're doing exactly what you think is best for our county. So, and I appreciate that.
Thank you for that.
All right. Thank you for coming. This has been Behind the Mic. We've been speaking with Scott Rubley, and we'll see you guys all next week.